Yes, COP29 was a big challenge for us, and of course, a big opportunity. Our task was to convert the challenge into success. Of course, we clearly realized that Azerbaijan, not being a biggest gas emission country, cannot play a decisive role in bringing the world together. But we thought that our experience in international institutions and a diversified foreign policy would help us to build bridges. So, as soon as we were awarded COP29 in December 2023, we started to be deeply involved in the substance. Frankly speaking, before, we were not very actively involved in this process. You see that one of the main impediments to achieving success is the lack of trust between the global south and the global north, between the countries, which are the big polluters, if I could name them like that, and those that suffer from this. And we have seen the disbalance. The countries which have an existential threat with respect to climate change have their gas emission below 0.1, but they are really under threat. So their life, their future, and the whole existence of the countries, especially small island states, are under threat. So we started to use our homework preparation, being very active in the global south, having great experience in chairing the non-aligned movement for 4 years with great success, with unanimous support from this institution, which was reflected in a unanimous decision to extend our chairmanship for 1 more year. At the same time, being actively involved in European politics, Azerbaijan signed or adopted strategic partnership declarations and agreements with 10 members of the European Union. So we decided that could work. We started to work immediately. So, we work on 2 tracks mainly, preparation and substance. On both, there have been a lot of rocks and bumps. But I think the final results demonstrate that it was a success story. Preparation was a big challenge because, unlike previous COPs, we had not 2 years, but only 11 months to prepare. We had to build all those great installations in the stadium, and around it, close to 200,000 square meters of covered space. And everybody was happy with the organizational side. It was not only about creating that site, but also logistic, transportation, accommodation, certification of our hotels, and finding other spaces for guests to stay, because we do not have so many rooms. We had 76,000 registered participants from 197 countries. Another problem, which we did not expect, was attempts to boycott COP29 due to political reasons. And that was very unexpected. I don't think that any other country which hosted this event faced this kind of resistance. But we also managed to deal with that. So the boycott failed. Though, as you mentioned, some countries, especially France, were doing their utmost to discredit the event. I have information from my colleagues, presidents, that the French president personally was contacting many of them, saying not to go to Baku. So, even that was used to stop leaders from coming. But it failed. 80 heads of states and governments came to Baku. That once again demonstrated that Azerbaijan is considered a reliable partner. With respect to what you said about the absence of the President of the European Commission, as far as I know, this was the first COP where the President of the European Commission did not attend, though the participation of the President of the Commission was confirmed a couple of months before. Even at the initiative of the European Commission, a special session was planned to address the issue of the Green Cable project with the participation of the leaders of Azerbaijan, Georgia, Hungary, and Romania, the countries which are involved. Again, that event was proposed by the European Commission, and we found a place to squeeze it in because it was too busy. But it was the last-minute cancellation of the visit, which was a surprise. I know that the organizing committee of COP29 communicated with the European Commission, saying that COP is for 2 weeks, and there was a lot of time to come. By the way, the Secretary-General of the United Nations came twice, at the opening and at the closing. But again, this message was ignored by the European Commission. And of course, COP29 did not suffer from that, but the absence of the European Commission, which is a party to COP of course, raises a lot of questions. But nevertheless, from the point of view of the organizational side, it was definitely a success story. I already said once that we had only 10 complaints, which were addressed immediately. So now, with respect to the results, many people call it, and I join that, Baku breakthrough, because for almost 10 years, the parties could not agree on the carbon market. The first days of COP already started with success, and an agreement on the carbon market, Article 6 of the Paris Agreement, was achieved. And that was really a great success, and everybody was happy about that. So, what couldn't have been agreed on for 10 years was agreed upon in Baku. Of course, the financing, because the main topic of COP was finance. I know that there were a lot of expectations that $1 trillion would be allocated, but that was absolutely unrealistic. So, what was achieved is that we tripled the financing for the coming years. Because before COP29, the latest agreed figure was $100 billion. So, here in Baku, we made it $300 billion. So, when someone says that it was a failure, it's not fair. It was a real success, and also a legacy that will be used for the future. There were a lot of other important initiatives. The total number of initiatives from Azerbaijan was 14. I don't want to mention all of them. It demonstrates that we treated this issue very seriously. Of course, another legacy, which I am sure will remain at future COPs, is the creation of the Troika between the current, previous, and future host countries. So, that is how it was organized. This creates synergy because we built our success on the success in the UAE, on the success of COP28 UAE consensus, and we used their experience. So this year, COP in Brazil will definitely build its I hope success story on UAE and Azerbaijan's success. Of course, our green agenda, which is another topic, absolutely fits in the global green agenda and green transition. I think we have already done a lot, and many more projects are to be implemented in the near future. So, I would once again call it a very big success. An important factor for us was also the country presentation. Never in our region has something similar been held. Never have so many guests gathered in one place in our region. So, it was a country presentation. And all those whom I met said, many of them, I mean, those who visited us for the first time, said they were impressed with what they had seen. Because the lack of information about Azerbaijan, and also deliberate misinformation about the country, actually has influenced the minds of many people. So, when they come to Azerbaijan, they see a vibrant society, educated people, trained personnel, the beauty of the city, and the total comfort of the society. Of course, it impresses. So, we had different targets, and all of them were achieved. So, another success for Azerbaijan.